What's up, everybody? Today I want to show you a compound miter saw that can cut steel, aluminum, wood, and plastic, and it's only $150. I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical about this thing at first, but it really works great. So let's check it out. All right, real quick, let's just go over the specs of this. So this saw is $150. The stand is extra. I think the one from Evolution is about $100. But it comes with this blade here, which, as you can see, is a 24 tooth blade, and it'll cut steel, aluminum, wood, and plastic. And it's just got this little lever here that you push in to unlock that guard. And there is no safety on this part here. So it's just, that's kind of your safety, that you would push that down and then you can squeeze that to activate the blade. But this is their R210CMS model, which is an 8¼ inch multi-material compound miter saw. And I know somebody's going to ask, this is running at 3750 RPM, 10 amps, and as far as cut capacity goes, they say it will cut a 4 5/16 inch deep by 2 3/16 tall. So it'll be no problem for cutting 2x4s and different construction lumber like that. So this is a compound miter saw. It's got a little knob right here that you loosen, and then you're able to rotate the base here, and you can hear that it clicks in. So it'll click in at 15, 22.5, 30, and 45 degrees. And it can actually do that in both directions. And then once you get it where you want it, you just tighten that little knob up. So you can kind of tell that they did cheap out on these here, just using these little knobs to save some money, but honestly, it really doesn't affect the function of it at all. You just got to make sure that you tighten that down. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys are used to having the handle at the front. This just won't have that, but it also makes for a smaller footprint, which is kind of nice. Coming around the back of the saw, you'll see this knob here, which you can just loosen that, and that's going to allow you to bevel it. And you can see here, it goes from 0 to 45 degrees. There are no stops or anything, any detents at any of those different positions. You just need to put it wherever you want, and then you'll just tighten that knob up. As far as the other knobs back here go, if you loosen this one up, you're able to slide this fence, so you can just get it out of the way if you're using that tilt feature there. And then this one here will actually hold a clamp, which I really like for cutting metal and stuff. You know, it's not a big deal when you're cutting wood, but if I was going to cut a piece of steel, I would definitely put that in and use that as some extra support to hold the material in there. The final thing is when you push that button in and you're able to bring that down, it's got a little lock here, and you just push that in, and that'll keep the saw locked in that down position. All right, it's also got a dust connection port back here. I'm not going to hook that up to anything. Let's try this first with the steel. So I've got a piece of 1.5 by 1.5. This is 3/16 wall. This is some pretty substantial stuff. So let's see how it cuts this. Again, I'm going to use that clamp. So you can tighten up that piece in the back to keep that from swiveling and to keep that locked in, and then just tighten this here. Make sure everything is locked in good. All right, here we go. Actually, let me put some hearing protection on because this thing is pretty loud when it's cutting steel. All right, so I just finished cutting this. It is cool to the touch. Now, the one thing I will say is it does kind of launch little metal chips all over the place, so you really need to be careful about cleaning up after cutting with this thing, because you'll have little sharp metal shards all over the place, but that's pretty amazing. Like I said, cool to the touch, nice clean finish on that cut. Yeah, it works great. I'm shocked. Here's another piece of steel. This is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 by 1/8 inch. Let's try cutting this on a miter actually. So I'll loosen that up, turn this. We'll just go right to 45. Tighten that back up. It's just crazy. Look how nice and clean that is. Again, cool to the touch. All right, so I mentioned the metal chips. So Evolution actually sells these too. This is a magnetic pickup tool, which is really helpful. And you'll definitely want to go over the floor and sweep up and use one of these, or blow your shop out or something when you're done doing this, because those little metal chips are pretty bad. All right, I haven't even put a square on this to check it yet, but let's see how this material is looking. So this is the 45-degree bevel. And that's great. That's dead on. Let's check to see how it is in this direction here. I hope you guys can see that all right. That's very square. That looks great. Let's check the other piece, the square piece that we cut. Again, very square. You guys see, hardly even see any light or anything through there. It's pretty good. All right, so you guys probably know that this is the miter saw that I use. This is also an Evolution. This is their 14-inch miter saw. Great tool, I love it, and you know, it'll cut really big material and everything, which is very helpful for me. But I get a lot of people who just want to start getting into metalworking, or they're already building like furniture or something, and they just want to be able to add like some little metal details. But when they see the price of this, it's a little bit of a turnoff. So to be able to buy something that's 150 bucks that will do not exactly what this can do, but very similar stuff, I think that tool can be very helpful for a lot of people. All right, let's give the wood a shot, and I just want to see what the finish is going to be like on this. Obviously, it's going to cut wood if it cut metal, but I do want to try this here. This has got nails in it. I fired 4 framing nails into the face of that. And then we've also got this here. So these are 2x4s, in case you can't tell, and this is a 2x6. Let's see if it is able to cut this. All right, this first cut will be just a regular 2x4. Let's see, can it cut? No, it's not going to be able to cut standing up like that because it hits that guard. So I guess if you wanted to start it like that, you'd be able to, but that's a little sketchy. Anyways, look at that. Nice clean finish. It cut great. Let's try the one here with the nails in it. So I'll just cut right through those nails. Let's see what happens. Go. So cut right through them. It did make a little bit of a sound change. I could feel it a little bit when it got to them, but it really didn't bog the blade down or anything like that. It just cut right through those, nice and clean. Again, nice clean finish on the wood too. That's really nice. All right, now let's try this 2x6. I think this is gonna be a little big. Let's see, maybe it'll make it. So you can see here, it made it most of the way through, but it's just barely hanging on. A lot of you guys watching, I probably don't need to show you that there's a way around that, but let's see. So to get around that, you could either flip the material over like this, like that, or you can do it the sketchy way. So I guess I can cut a 2x6. All right, let's just go back to one of these 2x4s real quick, and I want to see what the bevel will do. We haven't tried that yet. Bad. Again, nice clean cut. So this really seems like a great tool for hobbyists, but I can also see where it would have a place in a contractor's truck. You know, you just have something small to throw in there. If you got to cut through nails or cut a piece of metal, you know, something that you normally don't do and don't want to abuse your nice saw, it'll work great for that. And I mean, you could cut crown with it. Again, probably not the best tool for it, but this will just do a little bit of everything, it seems like. All right, I want to try cutting this piece of PVC, but before we do that, just for the heck of it, let's see how it does on this piece of walnut. Again, I want to just see what the finish looks like. Nice clean finish. Cut through it, no problem. A little bit of tear out on the back, but it's not too bad. All right, now let's give that PVC a shot and see how that does. There we go, nice clean cut, works great. All right, so there it is. I feel like at first I probably would have had a lot of the same concerns that you guys will have. I would have thought that the RPM would have been a little too high, and you know, when cutting things like steel, it would just wear the blade out too fast. But I've cut a bunch of steel with this, and then even after doing that, this is the original blade, so even after doing all that steel, then I can go back and cut wood and it's not burning it and it's not getting a ton of tear out. On the walnut it did, but really I think that's just going to happen on a lot of saws like this without any sort of zero clearance insert. So you could probably put another piece of wood under there and cut through that and then avoid that problem altogether. I probably would have thought that the construction wouldn't have been great, but I don't know, it's all solid aluminum, like very well built. They definitely, you know, saved a little money using these little knobs and whatever. I haven't, you know, usually miter saws will have something a little fancier than that, but I don't know, it doesn't really affect the function of the saw. It just does what it's supposed to do. So yeah, 150 bucks. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I will put affiliate links and an Amazon link and all sorts of stuff so you guys can check this out and learn more about it. And I'd really appreciate if you check those out because they will help me because I do get a little kickback from them. But yeah, thanks for watching everybody, and I will see everybody later.